Hello, my friends. Welcome to our Rebuilding Hollers Come Hell or High Water podcast. Hold on, let me start that one over. I lost it. Welcome to Rebuilding Hollers Come Hell or High Waters podcast. We are live right now here on Facebook, uh, YouTube. And if you are watching with us live, I would love for you to like, share, and comment. Join in our conversation by typing in hashtag rebuilding. Our friend Russ will pop that up on the screen, and that way you can join us right here in the conversation, because tonight is all about the scams that we are seeing happening here in Yancey and Mitchell County, but also it applies everywhere. These kind of scams that we're going to be talking about tonight are happening across the country. And I have two incredible friends I'm so excited to introduce you to that are going to tell us what they have seen in their profession and how we as a local community are battling these scams and trying to protect all of our neighbors, our young neighbors, our middle-aged neighbors, and especially our elderly neighbors, because they need guidance and advice to make sure they're not being taken advantage of. Upcoming, real quick before we get into this, I'm so excited about our upcoming event. I will be at the Prepper Camp convention. That's going to be August the 14th through the 16th at Tryon Equestrian Center. And I will be the keynote speaker there. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that'll be great. So if you would like to learn any of the preparedness type things, they'll have over 65 folks there teaching classes and teaching people how to do all kind of things. So make sure to check that out at preppercamp.com. And also, quick update, our friends at Cooper's Trading are going to have customer appreciation event this Friday and Saturday. I highly recommend you go. We love Cooper's Trading. They've been wonderful sponsors of ours, and they will be giving away. They'll have some great deals. They'll have hot dogs, hamburgers, and big giveaways. So please make sure if you're in the area, go by and see our friends at Cooper's Trading and tell them Stephanie sent you. Now, a quick project update, because y'all, the last few weeks have been crazy. So just a few of them, but Project 3, I got to go see last week. They have come an incredibly long way. The flooring is done. The sheetrock is done. The paint is done. They're waiting on their cabinets and a little bit of last minute trim. So the stair railing, stuff like that. But Project 3 is getting so close to going home. I'm so excited about that. Project number 8 is home, which y'all, nothing makes me happier than getting our neighbors home. And project number 8, they lost everything. They've had a terrible time. And that dad, he rebuilt his house from the ground up. And it has been such an honor to stand with him. They've been in their home for 2 weeks now. And it just makes my heart so happy. Everything we're doing is worth it once we get somebody home. And project number 8 is home. So I'm so happy about that. Project number 12 has made amazing progress. Their sheetrock is done. And actually, we just got their floor and paint ordered. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, they're going to have paint on the wall or flooring down. So they're making amazing progress. Project 32, y'all saw me posting about that this week. It was amazing and a little sketchy, scary. So we had the concrete truck come up to pour the footers, and the concrete truck could not get up the mountain. And I was sitting there praying so hard, like, oh, if we can't get the concrete truck up here, we're in huge trouble. But the well's already in. So I figured, well, if the well truck can make it, anybody can make it. The concrete truck had a little bit of trouble. So he had to offload a little concrete. The contractor had to grade that road a little bit. And then God gave that driver all the strength and courage in the world, and he just gunned it, and he made it up the mountain. So Project 32's footers are done, and our local block mason will be finishing up that foundation in the next week or two. So we're very excited about that. Project 32 is our third house that we have partnered with Mountain Heritage High School's construction technology program. So the house is done at the high school. Now we just got to get it to the job site. So our friend, Mr. Larry Bodford, will be helping us with that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. As soon as that block foundation's done, that house is going to be coming out of high school and being delivered. So I'm so excited about that. Project 34 has come a long way the last 2 weeks. We had an incredible sponsor there with Knights of the Columbus. They sponsored the completion of that job. Purple Heart Homes has also sponsored that project, and he's almost done. So the floors are done, the trim is done, the doors are hung, everything is ready. All we have to do now is the appliances will come next week. We got those from our friends at L&L Furniture in Spruce Pine. They will be delivered. Then we'll finish the cabinet install. The plumber is going to come by to finish his filtration system. And that's another neighbor home. Project 32 will be done. So we're so excited about that. And last but certainly not least, well, actually, it's not the last. Number 174 is also had a project sponsor with Knights of the Columbus. So they've got their furnace in, they've got their sheetrock done. Their flooring was also ordered last week. So it's on the way, and they picked up their paint 2 days ago. So they're also making amazing progress. So we're real excited to get that family home. And then now, last but certainly not least, Project 510, which is our second high school home. It is making fantastic progress. The rough and plumbing, electrical, and HVAC is all done. Gas lines went in today and called for an inspection. So hopefully the inspector will knock out our inspections tomorrow. And next week we're installing insulation. So big things happening there. Then it'll be sheetrock, flooring, paint, finish, trim, the whole thing. So another neighbor making progress to get home. So that's been really crazy. It's been wonderful. Right now we have 591 project requests. That's what we've had. And ultimately, it's like the last 2 years. We have been able to meet the needs of 269 of those project requests, which is so incredible. I'm so thankful to all of our sponsors and folks that have bought the merch to help us do that, because we couldn't do this without you. You are helping us make major progress. We still have 15 full rebuilds in progress right now. And then we have 25 full rebuilds waiting. So there's still a long way to go. We have about 282 small projects that need help. So that's like a foundation or a roof or a septic or a spring or you name it. It's something. There's on my list, 282 small ones that need something. So just slowly but surely, we're making progress. We are absolutely still needing help. So make sure to get your merch. We have our t-shirts here at the Hollers. You can order them online at rebuildinghollers.org or .com. And a lot of, lately we've had some churches that had collected money during the storm and still haven't spent it all. We would be so thankful to show you our project list and where we could utilize your funds that you raised for Hurricane Helene, and how we could use that to help our projects get done. So, we've found a lot of folks kind of still holding on to the last little bit of money for that. And we would love to help you spend it and put it exactly where it's supposed to go, which is to get in our neighbors' home. So without further ado, that was fast. I hope that was fast enough. I'm so excited to introduce y'all to my friends. Welcome to the podcast. This is Miss Darlene. She's like my best friend. And this is Mr. CJ. I just met him today, but he's my new friend and I'm excited. Y'all, welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. I'm so excited about what we're about to talk about with the scam, because it is serious. Yes, it is. You see it every day. You're dealing with it every day. It's intense. So Darlene is over Yancey County Adult Services. So she's dealing with a lot of scams with her clientele, because a lot of people are targeting and preying on our elderly. And CJ is with the Yancey County Sheriff's Office in investigation. So he's dealing with the scams constantly, nonstop. So I'm so glad y'all are here so that we can talk to our friends out there and say, this is what we're seeing. This is how we can combat it. This is how the information you should share with your family members to protect them from this happening. So let's talk about it. I mean, you could talk for hours. I would like to say the whole Scam Jam podcast was inspired by Darlene. We were at Elderly Awareness Day, sponsored by Yancey County Department of Social Services. And you had put on a fantastic show with a lot of resources for our elderly community. And we got to talking about the scams. Yes. But, and you were like, Steph, you need to have a Scam Jam. And I was like, I'm down for a Scam Jam, because they make me crazy. I mean, I get so upset with the scams I'm seeing in the rebuilding part of it. And y'all are dealing with it just in regular life. just regular things. This is what people are doing to scam our community. So tell me a little bit about, CJ, what you're seeing around the community, some of the stuff that the sheriff's office has been combating.
What's pretty much made a big toll right now is going to be contractors not showing up to jobs, being paid in full, people wondering where they're at, when their home is going to be completed or projects be completed, and ultimately left in the dark.
Yeah. So you're seeing a lot of that.
Most definitely.
Oh, that makes me crazy because most of that is from Hurricane Helene damage.
Yeah.
So these folks have finally got insurance money or FEMA money, or they've been saving because it's almost been 2 years. And then they're coming in and just stealing their money. That makes me crazy, y'all. I didn't know that it was, I mean, I know what I've seen here, you know, but.
And what makes it hard on a law enforcement perspective is somebody comes in and does some work and they're paid in full, and then it pretty much turned into a civil matter.
Yeah.
Where the criminal aspect is kind of left out of it, and then we feel helpless.
Right.
Want to help the people of our community, and your hands is tied.
Right. Because then they've got to go put like a civil summons or something. They got to go to the magistrate.
The magistrate clerk's office.
Okay.
That route, and I always suggest consulting with an attorney.
Yeah.
Physical legal services. There's different attorneys that's readily available that's very proficient in handling them type of cases. Another big one that we're seeing is you pay somebody in a check, that check being intercepted either in the mail and or picked up out of the mailbox, cashed, sold.
What?
Yeah, I can go into a few more details of it being sold.
I love writing checks.
Yeah.
But that's so that checks aren't even safe anymore.
Checks are not good.
Oh, well, how do you even pay your bills if you can't write a check?
My biggest advice, and I spoke to an elderly group that a couple months ago that asked that same question. And my best advice would be a credit card.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say a credit card, if there becomes charges on there that's 100% legitimate and disputable, dispute it.
Yeah.
And then with hopes of getting your money back. I would rather be using the bank's money than my checking account.
No doubt.
Become up zero. That's my best advice for all spending. I actually learned that from my wife.
Yeah. What's your wife's name?
Also, Emily.
Thank you, Emily Wilson. You've done a good job.
So, through my law enforcement career of seeing how criminals attack people's accounts and or take advantage of it.
Yes.
And that's the best practice.
And once that happens, it's so hard. You can't just go in there and get the money back.
Yeah.
There's processes and procedures.
And there's always ways that I can try to work an investigation if the charges are local and or able to be workable, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee.
Right.
But when stuff starts happening in California, if they're using your card or they're using it
out of the country,
then that becomes pretty much kind of out of my hands. It becomes uninvestigatable.
Right. And there's nothing you can do. And they just lose their money.
And I have a very good working relationship with state agencies and some federal agencies that's assisted on them type of investigations, but every one of them's different.
Right.
And every one of them's tough.
Right. Right. Well, because they have other big things going on.
Yeah.
And it seems like we were talking just right before the podcast, Darlene, what people need to know is ultimately there are scammers out there and it is their full-time job.
Yes.
To figure out ways to steal money from people. That's all they do.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And there's whole networks built around it.
And there's actually a Telegram group, if you're actually familiar with Telegram, that actually sells checks. They will take the check and blur out the name, leave the amount, blur out the account number and routing number.
Yeah.
To where they can see the amount.
Yeah.
And then sell it on the group
Wow.
for them to be able to copy and or duplicate the check to know that that amount's good for. They wrote that check, so let's act on that amount.
Wow.
And I've seen that numerous times.
And so, like,
And
you'll have a bank account, and then all of a sudden, the same check amount's coming through. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
That is so scary. Do you know how many checks I write a day?
You know, and the old thing
Now I'm freaking out.
the old thing was, you know, go to Price's Creek General Store and somebody else assigns your name, and now they've got a $150 check you paid somebody to do weed eating.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past.
Right.
Now, I mean, it still happens, but it's not as regular.
Wow. Wow. Now, Darlene, what are you, because yours on the other side, your specialty is with our elderly of Yancey
Yes.
County. And so this, what kind of scams are you seeing happening with your clients?
So, first of all, I think it's important people realize that scammers do not discriminate.
Right.
You know, babies, children, teenagers, middle age, elderly, they don't discriminate. They're just looking for the easiest target victim.
Yes.
So, but as far as like with adult services, we see a lot of like impersonation scams. So, we'll get a call from someone that they've received a call from Social Security, for example,
Okay.
because I mean, we live in a population that most of them get benefits, and it's limited.
Right.
And they get their check on the 3rd of the month. They go to the
Right.
grocery store on the 3rd of the month. They've got a plan.
Yeah.
And that's all of their income.
Right.
They have no more income, and they're living literally on a fixed income from day to day.
Right.
So if they get a call from, say, someone impersonating Social Security Administration, they say things like, there's been an issue with your account. You will not receive your benefit check. You are going to, you have to do A, B, and C. You need to write us a check back for the money that was deposited. They tell you this elaborate scheme, and it's all very urgent.
Right.
And fear-based.
Okay.
So that's where the scammers come from. They play on your emotions. So they want you to do something quick turnaround. And that way you don't have time to think through it, and
Right.
you're not going to process and think, wait a minute here.
Right.
So in the past, one of the things we have told our clients and different people we work with is that you will not get a call from Social Security that wasn't initiated by you to begin with.
Okay.
And so everything is by mail.
Okay.
So if they call you, you hang up the phone, because if there's really going to be a benefit check that's stopped, you're going to get a notice in the mail. You're probably going to get 3 or 4 notices in the mail.
Okay.
Before that benefit ever stops. And
that's probably the same for all government agencies.
pretty much, like IRS, they'll impersonate the IRS. I just get a lot of the Social Security ones because I think they find that they're the most successful with
Right.
that one.
Right.
And so we will get, multiple calls where and most of the time when I get the call, it has already happened. So
they get them to write a check back to them.
They've already gotten their information. They will give them their Social Security number, date of birth. They give them everything, because they're saying, we've got to verify that it's actually you, or we're going to go ahead and stop the benefits right now. And people, all they're thinking about is, oh my gosh, how am I going to buy my groceries? How am I going to pay, my bills? How am I going to live for the next month?
Right.
Because they live paycheck to paycheck, and they can't afford to not have one of those paychecks.
And so the scammers literally they're preying on the fear.
They're preying on the fear.
But their benefits are fine. Like they wouldn't have they would have had their money if they'd have just hung up the phone.
Yes.
So the biggest thing we can say is hang up the phone.
Yep.
Don't talk to
engage.
Nobody. Yeah. Don't talk to anybody about, never give out your Social Security number, never give out your birthday. Never, if they're calling you from somewhere and they don't have your information, it's a scam.
It's a scam.
And the bank, I think, which we're going to have the bank on at a later date, but same concept.
Yes.
The bank is not going to call you. And you had a recent one. Huh? What were we talking about with that bank? There was something with the bank that was the similar. Was that what happened? You were telling me that the bank had called, or
So this was my personal experience. So that's why I say scammers, they do not discriminate. Whoever is an easy target, that's who they're going to go for.
Right.
And they're banking on the fact that you're going to be fearful you're losing your money and that you'll be too ashamed to do anything about it.
Right.
And so I kind of laugh. Maybe CJ, I don't know if you all do the Arctic Wolf skits. Okay, so the county,
so there's a skit called Arctic Wolf.
So Arctic Wolf is like this training kind of information that just little mindful skits that we have to do with the county. And they'll come on our email every so often, and you go on there and they're kind of silly. I mean, they're goofing around talking about phishing schemes and scams and whatnot. And I kind of laugh, but I do them. And so I got a call from my bank one day stating that someone was trying to make a cash transfer from my account to another account, and that they had flagged it and that they needed to talk with me immediately and told me I needed to switch my accounts. We were going to switch into a secure account. I mean, they fed me the whole thing. The scary thing is they knew my husband's name. They knew at least 2 of my accounts that I had at the bank.
I remember this. Wasn't this that Target thing? This happened to you around Christmas. I remember us talking about this.
Well, I don't know how they got the information,
Right.
but my bank is very good about they text me alerts if things are kind of wonky.
Yes.
Yeah, so they text alerts for red flags. So they don't pick up the phone. I never talked to them.
Right.
So they called, and the first thing they wanted me to go to a brick and mortar bank. And my particular bank doesn't have a brick and mortar bank anymore. So they wanted me to go to a different bank. They knew the exact amounts in my accounts. That caught me a little off guard.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's name, he's not on those accounts. He has his own accounts at a different bank. So his name's not on it.
But that's what got you.
But we had an equity line. They didn't mention the equity line, but somewhere along the way they picked up his name, and they wanted me to give them all this information. Then they talked about accessing my account through the computer. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm saying, this sounds a little weird. Thanks to Arctic Wolf. I mean, I make fun of it, but it makes you think.
Right.
And so after a while, they told me to walk into the bank, but I couldn't talk to them on the phone while I was in the bank because they couldn't be on the phone with me at the same time.
Okay.
And I said, for what reason? And they were like, it's the law. And they said, it's against the law for you to be talking to me while you're in that bank. And I said, it's also against the law for you to scam me, right?
Right.
Click.
Wow.
It was like, but they knew tons of information about me personally. So, and y'all, I was that close. Because my first thought is, oh my God, it has to be legit. They know my husband. They know this. They know that. They've called my phone. So I could fall for it. Anyone could fall for it.
Yeah.
So I immediately called my bank. So that's what you should do. Get off the phone, contact your bank. They put a hold on my cards. They can take that off just as easily as they put it on.
Yep.
If you're really tech savvy, you can do your mobile banking and you can lock them yourself.
Right.
So that's the problem with my elderly. They're not tech savvy.
Right.
They don't know how to do all of this, and they're afraid. I was afraid, so I know the level of fear, and I do this every day.
Right.
So what is it like for them?
Right. Because they're home alone.
They're home alone.
Maybe looking for someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And they call them.
Yes.
And they're kind, or they're, a rush or whatever. They've got it. They got it down.
I mean, they use fear, guilt, loneliness, their isolation. And I'll tell you, with the elderly, this generational trust, and by that I mean they come from an era where they trusted
something.
Yeah,
you're gonna
your
do it.
your word meant something.
Yes.
If you said you I'm going to charge you this amount of money to pave my driveway. They knew if you did a handshake and they wrote you a check that you were going to do your best to get their driveway paved.
Yep.
And if not, you would work it out. And so, now they're in this world of where integrity is a thing of the past in a lot of situations.
Yes.
And they don't have, they still have that level of trust, and they shouldn't.
Right.
And it's hard to tell that generation to not trust people.
Right.
Because that's just not, that's
Well,
not
and
what
you
they're
take
used
care
to.
of your, but we were raised, we take care of our elderly. We take care of our community, and that's been a big part of rebuilding Hollers. I was so worried, especially in the beginning. We've had scammers here almost 2 years now. I know there's always been scams going on, but it's never been in my face as much as it was immediately after the storm, because there's people and drug addicts, and you can speak to that. I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, you don't understand. Yes, incredible people came, but so did drug addicts, so did homeless people, so did people looking to take advantage of our world kind of being upside down.
Yes.
They came here too. And a lot of them, their first stop was Rose's parking lot. And buddy, I was on it. I could skill I have, it's weird. But that's why I have been, I kept going, well, I can't leave now. Geez, all these scammers are going to get in here and get on our community. If they get past me and get back into a holler and get into there where we've got our elderly, or we've got somebody that's lost everything, what are they going to do? And I think now, almost 2 years later, we're seeing what they've done.
Yeah, and not immediately after the storm. I would say a year after, still running into situations of people coming and promising work. If you'll quick deed this acre and a half off.
Yes.
Oh, what?
That's back behind you.
It's trading the work for land.
And thank goodness some neighbors had made us aware of an elderly female that was going to engage in that. And I was able to talk to her, and, basically their word, just like you were saying, with that generation, if you said something, you was 100% going to do it, and they believed it.
Yes. It's just a matter of respect. I mean, they just grew up in a world where your word meant something, and you gave and received respect.
Yeah.
And that's no longer the world we live in.
No.
Sadly.
We got to stop. That makes, because, so my background, I'm a realtor. Protecting people's property rights and their property for their future generations and for their own security is of most importance to me. We have to come up with a better plan, a plan to stop this. Like, if she needs work done, you say, call Rebuilding Hollers. Steph's going to figure out a way to help you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do not do that. Don't give away your land.
Right.
Well, I heard another scam, and I'm going to have an attorney on in the future to talk about it, but there was a scam recent happened here. Elderly lady was called. They were pretending they were the FBI. Mm-hmm. And they said, we're the FBI, and we have found bad stuff on your computer. Mm-hmm. She's in her 90s. She don't even have a computer, but we found this, and we're going to come arrest you and all this stuff, unless you can go ahead and pay these fines. Yes. And she said, well, I don't have any money. And they said, well, what do you have? And she said, well, I have a house. And they said, well, sell your house and send us the money. Mm-hmm. And she did. And she was so scared because she thought it was the FBI.
So sad.
She didn't tell the realtor. She didn't tell the attorney. Not until the transaction was done and she had wired her proceeds with nowhere to go, mind you. That's when it became like, what's going on here? Why? And then she says, well, the FBI called and said I had to send them this money. And this is, everything gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. And once it goes international, this is devastating.
Even to change gears a little bit from say the elderly on to middle-aged people, mm-hmm. people my age in their 30s to 40s. People will call and say, hey, we've got pictures of you. If you do not send us X amount of money, yes. we're going to post these online, or we're going to share these with all your Facebook friends.
Yes.
And that may be that they message you on Facebook saying that, or Instagram, or any type of social media platform, and people getting in and sending people money.
Yeah. Just to try
to block them from exposing themselves.
Did you see that recently there was another child on Snapchat 13 years old. I read the article yesterday. The same thing happened to him. Someone was preying on Snapchat, got this little boy, and he was sending them $35 a day, straight A student, not to expose some photo,
Yeah.
and he killed himself. Well, I guess it's here, but it's happened somewhere in America 2 days ago. And so they don't care. They're preying on children and everybody else. So the key there is don't take bad pictures and share, but also don't pay.
Don't pay. That's the biggest thing. If somebody calls you wanting money, go to them. Say, hey, meet me.
That's my generation. I'm an
Go to the
80s
bank.
baby.
If you want to have a conversation, then come and let's have a conversation.
Come on down to the Hollers.
Don't send no money
No.
to nobody for anything.
Well, I want to tell you about another scam I heard too. So one of my friends, that's a realtor, and this is what I'm noticing. So on my realtor hat, I've been getting requests for people. They see a listing online, they reach out to the listing agent and they say, we want to have a Zoom call with you. We're really interested in this property, but we can't get there. So we're going to have a Zoom call with you, which is unusual. Even during the COVID era, it was never a Zoom call. It would be FaceTime. So I would FaceTime video a property for people. I mean, we video calling is normal, but not necessarily Zoom. But then what happened to her, and this was over in Buncombe County, she logged into the Zoom, and while she was on that Zoom, they wiped her out.
Yep. Took advantage of her computer, basically shared the
link.
Yep.
How does that even happen? So now I'm terrified.
Yep.
Which on the nonprofit side, I have a lot of Zoom meetings with people, with donors and people that are, helping us rebuild our community. I'm meeting people online through Zoom. I mean, that's how we have a face-to-face. So I can tell them about Rebuilding Hollers and what we're doing. And now I'm scared to death to get on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm basic tech savvy.
Yeah.
I set up,
we know
with Russ's help, I set up a podcast today. Lucas helped me today. Thank you, Lucas. But I'm no dummy.
And on a real estate aspect also, I've gotten calls from numerous real estate agents and or companies within Yancey County. We've got this house that's listed online. Somebody else has this listed, but they've got it for rent.
Yes.
And these people have sent whatever, the $1,200 deposit, people being displaced from their homes due to the hurricane, looking for a place to live in the meantime. And now they're being pooped out of money, crapped out of money from a scam that's on the internet.
From rentals.
The
other one we're seeing in real estate, that actually happened. I had a house listed in town right after the storm, and I got a call because renters are getting a little smarter. Now they'll look up the agent's name and call, But one of my house got I caught like a spiff. They took my pictures, my real estate pictures, and put it on as a rental and said, just go by and check it out. And I ended up putting a note on the house that said, this house is not for rent.
Yeah.
So that when people would come and see it, they would see, okay, this house is not a rental. This is a scam.
Yeah.
There's a ton of that. But that's an old scam.
Yeah.
That's been around a while. Now, the other new scam realtors have to be careful with is we're getting calls, and this has happened to me a couple of times. We get a call saying, I want to list my property, but I'm out of town. So just go by, check it out, and tell me what you think, and I'll e-sign everything. And so realtors are listing people's property that is not for sale. So someone has stolen the identity of the owner, that may be an out-of-town owner, or it's just land or something. And so they're trying to list property. I mean, it's crazy how every single level of our life is like being scammed.
That's why I say scammers do not discriminate.
No.
I mean,
and they don't take days off either.
No, they do not. I mean, this is their job, and their job is to not only continue scamming people, but to develop new and more successful ways to do it.
Yeah.
And so, I told you, it's not like we're getting ahead of them.
Right.
We're just struggling to keep up with them.
Yes, exactly.
So that's where this kind of thing is important.
Right.
So that we can educate anybody that wants to listen out there. I mean, we're talking about kids taking pictures of themselves on Facebook. Image on Facebook is very important to some teenagers and the older adults.
Yeah.
And they are going to do whatever. That's a desperation move, and they're going to do whatever.
Yeah. But when it excels to the point, because they just keep putting the pressure on them. Send me this, or I'm doing this. Send me this, or I'm doing this. And then the next thing, the person just says, they just tap out. Yeah. This is not acceptable. We can't allow that.
That's scary.
What would you say, CJ? Well, first, let's back up to the Zoom scam, because I'm really freaked out by that. What do you do? How could I protect my computer? Or I just need to be like, so for me, this is what was the red flag. They said, we're looking for what was it, like dependable realtor. And that's not a normal phrase you say. Or we're looking for a certain kind of realtor, and we want to use you, but we want to meet you on Zoom. So to me, the email in itself was like it was a tell all. But how do you can we protect our, how do they do that?
Basically, I guess you accessing the link.
So maybe you're giving them access. Like when I logged into Restream for this podcast.
And then you will give them access to basically your computer. So you basically share what has been explained to me as far as your hard drive data.
Okay.
They're basically surfing on your computer as you're on there having a conversation with them.
They got somebody in the back door and in.
That's going through everything on there. So when you've logged into PNC Bank,
right,
state employees,
right,
you just gave that's the key. That's the key. You gave them the key to the kingdom, so to speak.
Wow, just by clicking a link.
But my prevention aspect, I do not know any great ways to
because it's really just,
I don't know if there is any.
I know.
It's sad.
It's getting so extreme now that there's like and AI's taking over. What do you do? Like I thought I was all proud of myself. Like I write my checks.
Yeah.
I owe you some money. Let me write you a check. That's the easiest way to do it. And now they're selling checks. God, this is terrible. But what a blessing you come on to tell me about it. But this is awful. How do you feel like do you think you get the call after it's happened too? So like a lot of times it's not, I think this is a scam. It's, I think I got scammed.
Yeah. So they'll initially meet with a patrol deputy.
Okay.
That, they're trained into looking at scams, or if they advise somebody that it's a scam. I kind of get pretty much the back end of when it's done happened. There's done a report made within the reporting system that I get to read the deputy's notes, as they call a narrative in our reporting system.
Yes.
And it's all kinds of different varies. The biggest thing that I can say is if you have a question, call 682-2124.
Yes. The sheriff's office.
And ask somebody.
682. Put this one up for me, Russ. Hold on. Let me put it up here. Call 828-682. What was that?
682-2124.
2124. All right, Russell, put that up. Does that say 682? My eyeballs ain't working good. 682-2124, Yancey County Sheriff's Office. If you're in Yancey County. Mitchell's probably the same, huh?
Yeah. And
that way, y'all don't mind. You don't care to ask. I've met the lady, like when you go in, that lady that's right there in the office.
Miss Linda.
Gosh, I love Miss Linda. She's so kind. And also you could call Department of Social Services and talk to Darlene or anyone there, because y'all are trained.
Yes.
And it sounds like with the Arctic program, maybe I need to get on that program.
It's just something they started just to kind of, counties are not even
I know
exempt.
Mitchell County got hacked.
Yes.
I remember.
So they're not even exempt from scammers. So you have to, and I loved what you said, CJ, about the neighbor that stepped up and said, "Hey, we found out." That's what we've got to do in this community. We've got to partner up and help each other. And we've worked multiple cases with the sheriff's department for some of these scams. Like we said, it's after the fact, and we're just trying to figure out what we can do to prevent the very next one.
But awareness is key.
Yes, and if people will just,
Talk to
be
your
mindful.
neighbors.
Just if you see something that makes you pause and think, that doesn't sound exactly right, ask some questions.
Right. Right.
You might save somebody their entire life savings, their home,
Yeah.
Their life.
their life.
Their life. I mean, if
Yes.
if someone can call a 90-year-old lady and say, I'm the FBI and I have pornographic images of you, and she sells her house to send them
Yes.
the money to stop that from coming. I mean, grandma didn't take no dirty pictures.
Right.
But still, because it feels so taboo that they're just reacting instead of trusting that our county knows. We have the best sheriff, I think, in the whole state of North Carolina. I don't know
Most
about,
definitely.
I mean, I really believe that. And I don't even like people, but Darlene can vouch for me. But Shane has been on it. He's being proactive. Even the new thing y'all just published today with the stickers for our disabled and our handicapped to say, hey, we have someone with special needs in this house or in this car. I feel like our county sheriff's office has been so proactive to make sure to always stay ahead of things to try to protect our residents. And that's what I tell people constantly. I trust Shane. Go call the sheriff's office.
If you don't stay proactive as far as, say, community patrols, on top of the narcotics, on top of the breaking and enterings, the being Bent Creek Church, the Tennessee State Line, then you're going to be overrun.
Yes.
If you can't stay ahead of anything, just like your grass, so to speak. If you don't mow your grass, it's going to become so tall that you ain't going to mow it with a lawnmower anymore. You're going to use a bush hog.
That's right. You're going to have a jungle.
So
that's a good analogy, CJ. I appreciate that. But I think people have to know, we elected our sheriff. He knows he's going to seminars. He's sending you to seminars. You're going, y'all are working, like you said, with state agencies, with the FBI, the SBI. I just believe so purely in our community and our local resources. Another one that I've seen in a rebuild and Hollers situation is we have the state agency. The governor created this organization called Renew and See. And so it is building people homes, or you can apply to get your home. Well, what's happening is it's a pretty complex program. The application process is intense. There's a lot of things going on. Well, what's happening is these scammers are calling our neighbors and saying, well, I can get you a new home through Renew and See. Give me all your information. So now they have their birth certificates, spouse's death certificates, social security card, driver's license, and they're filling out the information because our neighbor, some can't read or write.
Right.
So they're trusting this person to fill out this application online and help them get a new house because they've convinced them, I can get you a new house. The one I've been dealing with is a lady out of Texas. And I got on the phone with her one day because I was mad. Like, what are you doing? What they're doing to this neighbor of ours. She's elderly. She doesn't understand the computer. There's all these things going on, and they have a hold on her. And when she started to pull away, because I was like, look, you're being, I said, I'm right here in this office. I said, you're being scammed. This is a scam. Stop sending this woman. They bank accounts, power of attorney. You talk about it. They have sent her everything. And it makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
And so I said, you need to go see the sheriff's office. You need to can't close your bank account, start a new bank account. I'm trying to say, you go talk to Darlene because it is elderly. There's so much that can be done to, prevent this type of scamming. And so you know what they did? They called the sheriff's office to do a wellness check at 10 o'clock at night because they were scared that something was going on. This is the scammer. So now they have, so now the person being scammed has a fear of the sheriff's office because in the wellness check late at night, they were asleep, knocking on the door. It's scary. It's scary if the law comes up. I can't imagine. So the next time she comes to see me, she goes, well, they sent the law, and the law, it was like they were beating the door down. And I said, that's fear control, just like what you were talking about. So they were getting busted on the scam. They were, because I was saying, this is a scam. You have to stop. Don't give them any more information. And they were trying to back out of their relationship with them because it's a controlled relationship with these. They call them. They've never met them. It's just a phone call control. And sure enough, so to me, that was just another tactic to bring fear into the situation, because now they're afraid of the law too.
It's another way to isolate them from the community, from their family. You'll see a lot of scammers that, I can say if somebody tells you don't tell this is a secret, that right there is the first thing. You just hang up the phone.
That's right.
That is a scam.
Yes.
If they're trying to keep you from telling the people that you trust the most in your life and are right there in your life, then that is an indicator that is a scammer trying to isolate you from the people that you can trust and who are trying to protect you. So, if they start doing that secret, don't tell this, send money, this grandparent scam that's been going around where they call, trying to explain AI to an elderly person is near impossible.
Right.
It's so, some of these people don't even have cell phones.
Right.
They don't have email. Some of them don't even have microwaves.
Right.
So they know nothing about AI. They know nothing about the internet, nothing about smartphones. And so they will get their voice, kind of a similar voice to their grandkid, or they'll act like we've got your grandkid here and the grandkid's begging them, don't tell mom and dad, but I need bail money.
Yeah.
And what good grandparent's not going to go get their grandkid? I'm going to send the money, and so they instantly do it. I think the biggest thing with all scams is if you can just take just a few minutes to pause and think, how does this sound? Then you're flipping from an emotional reaction to allowing some rational thought to come in.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute. How can they have naked pictures of me when I've not taken any pictures?
Right.
How can this have happened when I've not called anybody?
Right.
So I think if we can just get to the point of where people can stop for just a moment and regroup a little bit, we'll go from emotional impulse, send them the check, send them the money, give them the information. Then you can go into the rational thought, hang up the phone. If it's that important, someone will call you back.
Yes.
So I think if we just have to teach people to do that.
And not be afraid to call. Because a lot of times, and I've done it myself, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to waste the sheriff's time. I don't want to, I know Darlene's busy, so I don't want to call her. Darlene she's my calm me down. So like when I'm ready to really lose it, I call Darlene and she says, don't crap in your nest, Stephanie. So, there's gotta be someone in your life that you can call and run it by them. What do you think? I think this just happened. But 9 times out of 9, if you feel like it's a scam in your spirit, it's a scam.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a scam. That would be my best advice. If I tell people all the time, my gut is 99% accurate.
Yes, it is.
As long as I listen to it. If you don't listen to your gut, then 9 times out of 10, it's a scam and you're going to end up in a mess and you were right all along.
Yes.
So if you feel anything that happens that causes you to pause and think, well, that didn't sound exactly right, then that will give you enough time. You can always hang up, always call somebody. If it's a bank individual calling you, and when I say bank individual, a scammer, bank individual calling you, then you just hang up and call your bank. These local bankers are great.
Yes.
If you call your local bank and say, hey, I had somebody reach out to me and ask for this, banks will tell you they are not going to ask for your personal information over the phone. And if they called you, they already should have your personal information from your account.
Right.
So they're not going to ask for that.
But like you said, they're not going to call.
No.
See, Miss Pam says it's so sad that people are still being cruel to people that's had or still having it so rough after nearly 2 years. Oh, Miss Pam, it's insane. It's like I have been equating it to like our bubble has burst. We live, and I'm sure there were issues before the storm, but we were in a bubble. We were in a nice, privately encapsulated, the Truman Show bubble. And then Hurricane Helene just shattered it. And it brought all these scammers into our area. A lot of people with good intentions, but a lot of people with bad intentions because we're upside down, because we're already tripped up. They come in and do stuff like that. I mean, as far as on my side, the reason I have project numbers instead of telling you people's names is exactly back to Hurricane Helene, because these scammers they'd get their phone out and they'd say, tell me your story. I'll do a GoFundMe for you. I'll raise you all this money. And they exploited our neighbors and they raised money off of them. I'm sure you got a ton of reports. They started GoFundMes. They did all this. And then guess where the person went? They disappeared. Our neighbor never got the money. They never got the help, and there's also been, so one of my projects, they said to me, Steph, there's been no less than a dozen people come knock on my door offering help. Just give me all of your information. Just do this, just do that. I mean, so there's even people riding around our county and knocking on doors. And they said, they're younger, they're my age. So they knew it was a scam, but still, like, the audacity. You get a mama or papa with a bad roof, their roof's leaking, the asphalt scam going around. I mean, seriously, if you're in Yancey and Mitchell County and you have storm damage, don't be scammed. Just call me. I will tell you who the scammers are. I'm going to make a wall. That's what I told Shay one time. I said, I'm so sick of this. I'm going to make a wall. I'm going to start putting them on blast. I don't care if I get sued. I don't care, because it's making me crazy. But call us. We'll make sure you get the proper resources, the proper building material, the proper contractors. I don't mind a bit to tell you, I've heard great things from this one. I haven't heard great things from this one. Same thing with the sheriff's office. Same thing with adult services in Yancey County. I mean, we have the most incredible county, and everybody's committed to protecting each other. Just like you said, the bankers, the attorneys, everybody cares. Another one is a good one. Russell popped this up for you, is called Pisgah Legal. So you've heard both of them mention Pisgah Legal. That is a really great program. Their specialty is lower income, so they can help you file your taxes. They've helped a lot of people with insurance claims, FEMA claims. They don't really get into a lot of civil stuff. They're more about trying to help, but if you've got something going on, that's who you can call to get some information as well. So we have an incredible set of resources here in Yancey and Mitchell County, especially in Yancey. I mean, I believe in our county so much as far as what we've been trying to do to protect each other and help each other.
Well, it's personal.
You darn right, it's personal.
I mean, you want to talk about getting upset. If I get these little old people sitting across the table from me telling me that they've just handed everything to this individual to help them, I get a little hot.
I get super hot.
They're so trusting and should be able to be trusting.
Yes.
And
how do we restore that? To me, it's the exact same thing as like what I'm trying to do with restoring people's homes and small businesses. I mean, they didn't ask for a storm to come take everything they've ever had, and if we don't stand up and help them recoup, then who will?
I agree.
It's the same concept. And that's the same thing as you. So now you've got your client that has lived their whole life. They have no resources. Right. And now some scammers taking advantage. You're seeing it too in the field. I mean, we're talking about your grandparents' age here.
Right.
That's crazy.
I can remember stories. Chief Deputy Higgins had told me about Kermit Banks.
Yeah. Because he'd get them.
Back in the day, called them gypsies.
Yes.
That they would come around offering to paint your barn.
Yes.
For $250 while you and Mamaw was sitting on the porch. There was two out there painting some of the barn while the rest of them was stealing your stuff and come through the back door. I remember stories.
And so we have to remember that's still happening.
That's still happening.
It's my mom. She had that exact experience, and I learned about it from Ronnie Tipton. Did a scam training with us. Yes. And he was talking, I'd never heard of Irish gypsies or whatever he called. I'd never, ever heard of that. And he was talking about it. And I dang, the next weekend, my mom calls and she says, these people came to my door selling meat.
Yeah.
And I said, tell me you did not let them in.
Mhm.
And she said, well, no. She said, I did buy some meat. It looked good. It was a good price. I did buy some meat. And I said, Mom, what they do is they one's talking to you, the other's scoping things
Yep.
out. And they ask her, they said, well, we've been to some of these other houses. Do you think anybody else would want to purchase some? And my mom, not thinking,
Oh, well,
said,
they're not home, or
she
them
said,
that-
she
them
said,
that work.
she said, yes, she said, there's no reason to go to these houses because most of these people work during the day.
Yep.
She had no idea that she was telling, that these houses are empty and fair game and an easy target. So, there's, I mean,
It's
crazy.
it's impossible to get ahead. It feels impossible to get ahead of this.
I learn every time that I'm sitting here trying to tell people about scams. I'm here hearing from CJ talk about things that are new to me.
Right.
So I learn for myself
Yes.
every time I'm talking about this. And I think that's what we have to do. We just have to keep the dialogue going. The old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to protect our community.
Yes, it
and I
does.
think as we move along, we've got to just kind of work together and just reach out to people and talk
Check on our neighbors.
Check on your neighbors.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of scams that are based on isolation.
Yeah.
Romance scams. I mean, those are so sad.
We've had a lot of those.
We've had
It's
some
very
of those perfect. I mean, like we've had people that just give money, give gift cards. I mean, elderly people will go and get gift cards, scrape it off. That they sit on the phone and tell them what to do. Scrape it off, read the number off to them, so they use the gift card. And I don't know, maybe not even this country.
Yeah,
and they'll do that over and over and over, and they'll say that is my friend.
Yeah,
that is. They're living with my cousin, and I'm helping my cousin, or that's my new lady friend. Some of my clients have learned a little bit about social media, not a lot, not enough to protect themselves, but enough to get on there and dabble. And people reach out to them, and here they are. They're lonely, they're isolated, and they want a friend,
right?
And so they'll reach back out, and this person.
Well, it starts gentle and kind,
starts
right?
gentle and kind, and then it goes to. There's usually an excuse that they are out of the country right now. They're in the military. I'd love to come see you. Can you send me a plane ticket? There's always an excuse for no face-to-face meetup,
right?
And then there's also this. All of a sudden, the sweetness kind of moves into, oh, my loved one needs surgery. Can you send me $150?
Right. Or
something like that. And I mean, that's so sad
It's
because
so sad.
all they wanted
was a
friend.
But let's talk about this. There's another one that you have mentioned that's even worse, and that's in the obituary scams.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's something have you heard about these obituary scams?
I mean, so I learned about it, this personal experience. My mom had passed away a couple months ago, and I was trying to do like her estate and get some things in order. And I kept running across all this information about obituary scams. So I looked it up a little bit, and what people do is they go online because it's their job and look up obituaries, and then they may show up at the funeral home. They may reach out to the vulnerable adult because here's somebody who's mourning. They're as low as you can get. This one of the worst points in their life, and they can reach out and they think, okay, there's money back and forth. There's information being bandied around because you have to have their social security, date of birth, all this stuff to do anything for their estate.
Right.
And so they will steal their identity. So you have to tell Social Security they passed away. You have to talk to the DMV, and you have to hurry and do these things because if you don't, they see that as, okay, that's fair game, and they will steal their identity. And so I learned that. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but I learned that
about
while I was trying to work through some of her estate questions.
Yeah.
And I mean, my gosh, that's so.
Yeah, that's the word. I mean,
that,
if you're dealing with everything, including the
Yes.
passing of a loved
Yes.
one, and now you have to worry about it being
Somebody opening credit cards. in their name.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go get their mail because they know there's probably going to be mail that comes to that mailbox. So that it may not be picked up as it used to be every day or whatever. And so there's going to be beneficiary information coming that mailbox, all kinds of. So they're going and skimming through their mail,
and that's just in the newspaper.
and
That's on Facebook.
yes.
That's on social. I mean, it's
Yes.
just easy peasy. I feel like this has been powerful. We've been able to talk about
Yes.
so many different scams. I'm so thankful that y'all took time out of your evening to be with me and to share with my friends on social media how we have to keep looking out for each other and working together. I believe 100% you can trust the Yancey County Sheriff's Office. If you have any questions, anything, call them. They are so wonderful and they care about us. That's why they get their that's why they do what they do. Call Darlene over at Social Services or just call up to there. They care so much too. I mean, to me, these two departments represented in Yancey County are the most powerful. I mean, we have the law and then we have the ones that know how to help. You know, of course, they do children's services, but adult services. There's nobody that cares about our community more than these two organizations in our community. And you can trust them. If you feel like you can't, come see me and I'll go with you because I trust them because we have worked so closely together over the last 2 years where I know that's who will help us because I am as equally helpless as most other people. Now I'm scared to get on Zoom, but I know who I can call. I know who I trust to help us deal with some of the scamming going on.
Yeah.
CJ, is there anything else that you would like to say to everybody and just anything at all?
It's so hard keeping your guard up all the time. The individuals that you meet in your everyday life and or trying not to be took advantage of or be vulnerable to a scam and or not to be robbed or your house broke into or anything happened to you. But please, if anybody has anything, then please reach out to us. I know it's hard to keep your guard up as I stated that, but please just reach out to us if there's anything, if you have any questions, because if you don't keep your guard up, you'll be taken advantage of.
Right.
And it's hard to walk around all the time and not be able to introduce yourself to new people because that guard is so high and not have the trust in anybody. That's just a battle that you have to deal with.
But our bubble's been burst.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has. And we have
sad
we still have scammers here riding around. Don't just let people in your house.
Yeah.
Don't just let people because they seem nice on the outside in because they're coming for a reason.
Yep.
And what I've been learning, and I didn't know this either, but you remember me talking about it early on, is I was like, why do people want this data? I busted in the Roses parking lot, and I kind of lost my mind on this guy too. I put the fear of God in him. I did that with a lot of people. But he was standing in our distribution line in between two pallets. And when a car would come by, he would go, what's your name? What's your address? And then he'd get their tag number. And I
remember that.
Yeah, remember I lost it. I was like,
remember that.
I don't need that information. I'm running this distribution hub. I don't need that information. Why do you need that information? Well, I found out in the nonprofit world, it's all about the data. They want the data. And so I'm crazy protective of the data. As you know, I'm not sharing my people's information. I'm not sharing stuff about my community, but there's still people out there going door to door to collect that.
Yeah.
And that's why for us, we only hire locals.
Right.
I don't really, I mean, I do have a group of volunteers coming, but what I did is I called every one of my projects and said, this group of volunteers has sent in skilled laborers to do the job. Do you mind? Is that okay? And get a confirmation. Well, then they'll be calling. This is the number you can expect. Other than that, they have to give authorization because people coming door to door or just randomly calling someone that you don't know. It's no good. Darlene, do you have anything else you would like to say that you would like people to be focused on and take away from our fantastic chat? This has been so good.
Well, I'd just like to remind everybody that, we are a village, we are a community. Reach out, ask questions. Don't be embarrassed. It happens to the best of us. It's going to happen to the best of us. So feel free to reach out, ask questions. Those agencies in the community that want to get on board with helping people avoid scams, let's work together. If you have questions, give us a call. I love partners in the community. I imagine you all, I love partnering up with the sheriff's department to work on cases that we have together. No one will reach out to you and ask for your personal information over the phone.
That's right.
They're, regardless of what it is, if they're asking you for personal information, just hang up.
Yeah.
And one last one that really scares me, and I didn't realize this, was if never answer yes on the phone.
Like when they call and say, hey, is this so-and-so?
Yes, do not answer yes.
Okay.
If they say, hey, is this Darlene? I'm going to say, who's calling?
Yep.
What are you calling about? Never say yes, because they can take that voice and use that for a fraudulent authorization on like bank accounts and credit cards and things like that. So just be real careful. If you have a smartphone and it says potential spam, just go with that. And if it's not potential spam and it's somebody they'll call you back. If it's a loved one reaching out needing something, they know you, they will call you back. Verify, verify, verify everything.
Yes.
And we've all said reach out to us. I can't stress that enough. We got to work together and protect our community from all of this, protect each other.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. Because it's real and
It is real.
It's happening. This is not just strictly in Yancey County. I mean, this is happening all over the country. But for us, I feel most vulnerable for my community because we have been devastated by the storm, because people are still living in a very difficult situations. I've got over 41 projects still in campers or still displaced from their homes. So, I mean, imagine how many are not on my list. There's still a lot of people out there that are having problems. And I think the closer we get to desperation and desperate need of help, we're going to do desperate things. Yeah. And we're going to be searching for those, I just need a break. But if it seems too good to be true,
it is too good to be true.
It is. And so many of my projects, what makes me the maddest is how many have came and said, I'm here to help you, got information, and then they disappeared. So, all right, friends, that's it. Thank y'all for being with me tonight. I love y'all so much. As always, y'all, thank you so much for loving me. Thank you so much for loving my community. We'll see y'all later. The hardest part isn't the knowing. It isn't knowing everything that you have to do to get everything back right. The hardest part are the memories. Knowing exactly how it used to look before the storm. That's the hardest part.